What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today I just want to have a casual video talking to you guys about a vehicle I am really excited about. I'm talking about the 2022 Mercedes SL. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen the photos Mercedes-Benz has dropped in the past 48 hours or so, and from what I've seen so far, it looks like they hit it out the park in terms of the overall design, the use of materials, and just the craftsmanship that's going into this vehicle. So I want to talk to you guys about that a little bit and see what your thoughts are. And this can be just like an open dialogue. I really want you guys to comment on this one and let me know what you think. So starting off with what we're getting, it seems like we are getting everything that we missed in the past generation SL. If you look at the outgoing R231, or what we've had for the past 10 years, you know, that car, it just didn't have any wow factor. Mercedes SLs are supposed to be beautiful. I remember back in the day, I always considered the Mercedes-Benz SL to be just as much of a flagship model as the S-Class. You know, if you got a new S-Class, you always knew that there was an SL shortly behind, and as you can see, that's what's happening in this iteration. But the SL always had all the technology that the S-Class had. Now, over the past 10 years, you know, the same cannot be said. So if you look at the photos, one of the first things you're going to notice is the giant touchscreen display system in the center console. Now, I know a lot of you guys might have some heartburn with that, but that's where the industry is going, these large tablet-like displays. And that's going to have your latest MBUX system, just like it does in the S-Class. As a matter of fact, it looks exactly like the touchscreen display system that we saw when we checked out the S-Class. So you're getting that latest technology from Mercedes-Benz with the MBUX and the touchscreen with the haptic feedback. I really like that. Large camera systems, so you're going to see all the images from your cameras all around the car on a nice large display, a large navigation system as well. I really like that the new SL class is getting that. If you look at the previous generation, you just had a small screen with that numeric keypad that's been outdated for several years on end. So it's really nice to see that we're getting the latest and greatest in tech in the SL. Now, another feature of this tablet, from the photos, it looks like the tablet's able to be adjusted at different angles, just in case you have the top down, the sun's not going to wash out the image there. So I also think that's nice as well. I'm not sure how well that will work. I'm anxious to test that out when I get my hands on this vehicle. Now, another screen display that we have to talk about is the instrument cluster. And of course, it's going to be a screen naturally because of the time that we're in. That's just what's hot right now. So the analog gauges are gone. But Mercedes didn't just throw a flat screen there and call it a day. They actually designed the dashboard around it and surrounded that in leather. So it looks like it's been wrapped in leather and wrapped in a dash, which gives it a traditional look and also provides some depth to the instrument cluster. I think it looks really nice, and hopefully the way the dash has been wrapped around that screen prevents the sun from hitting it directly and washing that out as well. I'm sure that's something that they've tested, but we'll see when I get my hands on the vehicle. The overall interior, the quality and the finish on it looks amazing. It looks light years ahead of what we got in the previous generation SL. I mean, for instance, just the leather quality on the dash looks better than what we have in the outgoing generation. And if you look at the seats, they look like they're diamond quilted. Of course, they're going to be ventilated and all of that with the massage features and the air scarf. But you have the Falterback crest embossed in the headrest, and they just look ultra comfortable. You know, this is going to be a nice GT car, and the premise of a GT car is to be able to go fast over long distances and keep you comfortable. And those seats look like they're getting the job done and what looks like the highest quality leather that they have available. So I'm really excited to see what that feels like. Now, speaking of seats, this is a 2+2 configuration vehicle. I'm sure most of you by now know this. And a lot of people are like, well, the SL is supposed to be a roadster. It's not supposed to be 2+2. But I think a lot of us just got used to having a shelf back here for the past 30 years. Back in the 80s, you could easily order an SL in 2+2 configuration. There would be two really small seats in the back there. You know, they're not really usable, but they would be there. And that looks like what they're going for in this upcoming generation. The seats are really small. They don't look all that usable, but they're there. So I really don't have any heartburn over that. It's not like this is a vehicle that you're going to use to transport 4 full-size adults. So let's not get too wrapped up around the axle on that one. One thing that I hope they considered or will consider in the future is, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the optional tonneau cover on the Rolls-Royce Dawn. There's a cover that goes over the back 2 seats, and it gives the vehicle this really, really cool speedster look. I would like to see Mercedes take advantage of the opportunity there and do the same, because I think that would just take the car to another level, and it just makes it look extremely cool. Now, one thing I have to talk about is the reemergence of the soft top. Over the past 20 years, we got used to having a nice retractable hardtop. I know a lot of people are upset about that as well. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section about going to the soft top. But one of the critiques of the previous generation was the car felt too heavy, or it didn't feel like a true sports car. Well, if you have a heavy retractable hardtop, and when it's raised, it's the highest portion of the vehicle, that's obviously going to alter your center of gravity. So if you have a soft top, it's going to be a lot lighter, and that's really going to positively impact your driving dynamics. And there's also another major benefit to that. When a soft top folds, it's a lot more compact than what you would get with a retracted hardtop. So it's going to take a lot less space, and that helps with the overall design aesthetics of the vehicle. When it comes to the retractable hardtop on the R230, I think Mercedes got that right on this vehicle. But on the generation after that, I think the trunk design just looked way too big and bulky and took away from it having that sporty appeal that an SL should naturally have. And that's where you started to run into some of the design issues on that previous generation. The front was too blocky, the headlights didn't look right, and then the rear looked like it was designed by somebody who didn't know the guy who designed the front, like they couldn't talk to each other or something. And it just resulted in a vehicle that had awkward proportions and wasn't pretty. And SLs are known for always being pretty. So that's what really hurt the sales of that vehicle. And that's why Mercedes-AMG took over the design work on this one to try to bring the SL back to its original heritage. It's supposed to be a beautiful, sporty, fun to drive vehicle that's light on its feet. These cars are starting to get really heavy for whatever reason, due to all the standards that these vehicles now have to make or meet up to before they hit the market. So a car that's light on its feet is obviously a lot more fun to drive, so this new SL is going to look a lot better. They've been teasing us with these photos here. First, they gave us a photo of the car's body structure, and then they gave us the photos of the interior. I'm like, just show us the whole thing already. I'm tired of having to wait, because when an SL comes out, that car is not going to get redesigned for another 10 years. So what you get is what you get. So I'm anxious to see what this is going to look like. From the interior, I think it's going to look really nice for sure. On the door panels, you can see you're getting that ambient lighting. The Burmester speaker system jumps out at you. It just really looks nice. It just looks like they took the luxury that the SL is supposed to have to an entirely different level, if you will. The luxury on this car is easily going to be on an entirely different level. And I think that's truly what we missed. So you're having the latest in tech between the screens on the center console and the screen in the instrument cluster. And then you're getting the tech that you see in the S-Class, which is what the SL should be all about, because it's really just another flagship model in the Mercedes-Benz lineup. So if the S-Class is getting all this awesome tech, and the SL is essentially, if you look back, a convertible two-door S-Class, we should have all the tech we see in the S-Class in the new SL. So if you look at the door panels and the photos they provided, you'll see you have those same seat controls that you see in the new generation S-Class, which are the buttons that don't actually physically move when you apply pressure. You just press on the button that corresponds on the seat that you physically want to move, and then it will move. But the button actually stays in place. You just apply pressure, and then the seats will adjust accordingly. I think that's pretty neat, and I think it also looks really nice with its metallic finish. Just adds to the overall quality of the interior. when you have a convertible vehicle, it's extremely important that that interior is on point, because when you have the top dropped, that interior has to speak for the vehicle. That interior has to let people know, hey, this vehicle is something else. And I think in the previous generation, we didn't get that. But what Mercedes-Benz is showing us in this new generation, from the photos they've released so far, I think they've definitely brought their A game to the interior department. And I can only imagine what the exterior is going to look like. So I know a lot of people might have some reservations about the soft top or it being a 2+2 configuration. I really don't have any heartburn with that. One thing I will say is that back in the day, when the SL did have the soft top as standard, it did come with the optional hard top that you could keep in the garage. I know a lot of you might not remember that, but there was an optional hard top that the vehicle came with that you could keep in the garage. You could either get it as a glass panoramic roof, or you could just get a solid traditional roof, and it would transform your car from roadster to coupe. And it would take, I think, 2 people to put that top on. I hope that's something that Mercedes-Benz would consider for this new generation. It could just be something that I want to see. I don't know what the market will bear on that, but I thought it's pretty cool, especially if you live up north and you have harsher winters and you don't want to expose that soft top to the elements. That hard top was a game changer and just completely transformed the look of the car, you know. Some people would even think it was a completely different car when the hard top was on. So I hope that's something that they would pursue in the future if they haven't already. Also, it looks like you're going to have a manual wind deflector just like this one does now. So that wind deflector is going to help keep the cabin a quiet environment for that open air motoring experience the SL is known to be able to provide you with. So those are just my high level thoughts on the vehicle. Guys, definitely let me know what you think about this car. Are you as excited about it as I am? I'm really excited about it. Obviously, I'm an SL fan. This is my personal vehicle here. And I've had it for quite some time because I've always loved SLs. I feel like nothing really captivates you. I feel like there are not a lot of cars that have the same presence as an SL when you see it on the street, and you don't see them all the time either. There are times where I go several days without seeing it, and that's what makes the SL unique. You know, you buy one and you don't see it every 5 minutes. It makes it exclusive, almost like you're in a club, if you will, right? So there's something about spending 6 figures on a vehicle and running to the grocery store and knowing you're not going to see 3 others in the grocery store parking lot, right? That kind of takes away from the experience. It's exclusivity, and I really hope that's something that Mercedes-Benz really knocks out the park again. I want this to look like a 6-figure car. The previous generation was a 6-figure car, but it didn't look like a 6-figure car. So that's just my thoughts on that, guys. I want you to leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this vehicle. I know I have a couple subscribers who are SL owners. I think one of you owns a SL65. Lawrence, I think that's you, and I think you'll definitely weigh in on the comment section on this one. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves.